A very rare storm is coming to the United States, but it is not a storm that is going to be producing severe weather. It is a geomagnetic storm that is going to let most of the United States have a chance at seeing the northern lights tonight. Now, this is all going to be heavily dependent on where you are and how much cloud cover you have. Sit tight for a few minutes, and I will get you through what you need to know and whether you should take the chance of staying up late to see this event. Let's start off today's video, though, on the severe weather side of things, and luckily, we only have general thunderstorm risk for today back here on the west coast. In case you don't see it, is back here on the west coast in California. That is going to be just like it sounds, just some general thunderstorms. Moving on to tomorrow, that general thunderstorm risk remains in place across portions of California. So, California, you're getting in on some of the rain action. And as we move on to the day 3 outlook, guess where it stays? California. So, I guess much needed rain, and it's kind of going to be moving from north to south. So, just be ready in California for some rain and a few thunderstorms, but nothing too significant. Now, as we move on to the upcoming storm systems and why we may be getting another severe risk in the near future, let's go ahead and go over to the jet stream. And this is a look at where our next severe weather maker could be. And it is going to be right back here. This system right here is what we were originally thinking. We were thinking this was going to come into the United States, be like some sort of trough, set up a big system. But things have changed a bit, to say the least, on this. As you can see, it still makes its way through, but it's not as significant or anything. May promote a bit of a low-end severe threat, but what we're really watching for is around Thursday of next week through Saturday. This is where we could have a big system. Now, keep in mind, this is about a week and a half out. Things are going to change, but we could definitely see another severe system come barreling through here. As you can tell, it does look like a pretty potent system if it were to get going and started to roll. And if this were to happen, take it with a grain of salt, as it is pretty far out. But if this were to happen, it'd probably promote widespread severe weather across this area. So just make sure you're staying prepared, as there's no need to be worried right now, but things are going to change as we head into the future. And as we head throughout the rest of November, it does look like we may get a few more systems to move through, but overall severe weather does look like it is going to be staying on the quieter side. Here's a look at radar and what we can expect. And here, as we head into the weekend in the system we were expecting between Saturday and Sunday, as you can tell, never really does get going. And as we head into next week, around that Thursday to Saturday time frame I said we needed to watch, here's on Thursday, until we get a small system, nothing too crazy. And then as we head into Friday, we get some more rain, it looks like. So, overall, lower end on things, but it does look like we could get a few different systems back there in the plains and heading into the Dixie Alley. So, something that we definitely need to be watching for. This is a look at the European model, and it is kind of showing that same thing. As we head into this weekend, nothing really. And then, as we head into next Wednesday, we may get a few storms to bubble up. So we're going to have to be watching this area for next Tuesday to Wednesday time frame for some severe weather. But it doesn't look like anything too significant. And as we just continue, it does look like we may get a few more systems. So the models, they're both in agreement that something definitely could be brewing as we head throughout the rest of November. And I don't want to get your hopes up or anything, but I just wanted to show you this just to show what the GFS is showing in terms of snowfall for the rest of the month. And you can tell it's not anywhere in crazy areas. I mean, we have our normal snowfall across these areas, like up in the higher terrain and everything. and up here in the Northeast where it's more common around this time of year. Nothing too substantially to the south, really. I mean, the areas that really see snow around this time of year look to be getting at least a little bit of it. So don't get your hopes up if you're anywhere like down here. You do not look to be seeing snow in November. Now, this is a look at what our next storm, our geomagnetic storm, I should say, that is happening tonight. We have a severe watch in effect for tonight. A severe geomagnetic storm watch is in effect. And what we are expecting is a CME is anticipated to arrive at and partially impact Earth around midday of November 12th, with the potential for elevated geomagnetic response with dependent upon the orientation of the embedded magnetic field. Potential exists for severe storm levels. So this is not a common event. So this is going to be really cool if you are able to see the northern lights and auroras as far south as Florida. Yes, you heard me right. Florida, you guys could see some of these auroras tonight. This is a look at cloud cover, and this is going to be a big factor onto whether you are going to be able to see the northern lights and auroras tonight. And you can tell here, it's pretty cloudy across most of the United States. So this is around currently. You can tell it's pretty cloudy up here in the Northeast, which is not the greatest sign. Back here in southern Florida, we do have patchy clouds. And back here in the Arklatex region, we have patchy clouds. On the west coast, I do have to say it is very, very cloudy. And back through the plains in the Ohio Valley and Midwest, it is partly cloudy, but mostly clear. And this is in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours. This is when areas are going to be able to start to see them. And you can tell it's very cloudy on the west coast. You're going to have some breaks that are going to have exceptions, but luckily for the plains and everything, Midwest, Ohio Valley, it looks to be mostly clear. Then anywhere from about Tampa south, it's going to be pretty cloudy, it looks like, as you are going to have your chance. And then as we head, this is about the time whenever they're going to start to go away. You can tell cloud cover is really going to start to fill in across much of the United States. So luckily it does look like most of the cloud cover is going to stay away for the majority of the United States. And that is going to allow for quite a few people to be able to see the auroras. But at the same time, quite a few people are not going to be able to see the auroras tonight, which is unfortunate. But keep in mind, this is not going to be the last time this ever happens. And I have moved my camera down here to the bottom right, so you can see this whole map that has been made. And if you are in the northern United States, shimmering, multicolor, and possible corona is going to be possible. And if you are in that green shade, green pillars are expected. That means you're going to be able to see the green auroras tonight. And in that purplish area, you're going to be able to see the green and the purple along with the red. And here we're going to be able to see red glow in this kind of like brownish area. We're going to be able to see red glow to the north. So make sure you're looking to the north if you are in this brown area, this brownish red. And then if you are, I'm going to go in pink and make this to where you can see it better if you cannot see it. But if you are anywhere to the south of this line, that means you're going to have to use a camera if you are wanting to see the auroras at all. So just know you're probably not going to be able to see it with the naked eye south of that line. This is aurora viewing conditions for tonight. The map key is in the left side of your screen, green being clear, yellow being okay, and the red being terrible. We do have areas on the west coast that are clear, but mostly we are seeing okay to terrible conditions. A majority of the U.S., I do have to say, is in the terrible or okay conditions. And we do have areas though that are in the clear, like this area back here in Nevada and California, one back here in Montana, North and South Dakota. We do have an area back here in the plains, back through the Dixie Alley and southeast. And then we have one back here in the northern United States, back into portions of the Ohio Valley. And then you do see we do actually have this terrible viewing condition back here in Iowa and Nebraska. And I'm sorry, but it's just unfortunate if you are in that area, as, yeah, it's just going to be cloudy, it looks like. So there are areas that are going to be an exception, like this area back here. It's going to be an exception. You're going to probably be clear, but it's kind of like back here. Yeah, you could have had okay conditions, but it looks like you're going to have some terrible conditions. Then in the Northeast, it looks like conditions are going to be pretty terrible for viewing conditions. But the story looks like it's going to overall be okay to terrible conditions for most people trying to view the auroras tonight. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy today's video, please consider dropping a like and subscribing, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.